I never ever anticipated the day where I would hear the word remission. It had been quite a journey these last 12 and a half years, walking through various clinical trials, being placed in palliative care in 2015. And just, to hear the word remission is just one I think it's taking its time.
Multiple myeloma is the second most commonly diagnosed blood cancer after non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, yet few people know much about this deadly disease. Medical innovations derived from ongoing clinical trial research have changed the patient journey within multiple myeloma, from one of coping with a dire prognosis to hope for the future.
Princess Margaret Cancer Center plays a unique role in Canada and in the entire world.
Dr. Donna Reese, Director of the Program for Multiple Myeloma and Related Diseases in the Department of Medical Oncology and Hematology at Princess Margaret Cancer Center in Toronto. Dr. Reese is currently the chair of the Multiple Myeloma Clinical Trials Group of the National Cancer Institute of Canada. She has conducted many clinical trials and published numerous articles in the area of multiple myeloma.
It is a real honor to be part of the clinical trials at Princess Margaret for myeloma. We have been able to see a disease that a decade ago had a very short survival, and patients suffered a lot from this disease. And if you fast forward nowadays, patients routinely live many years, and we've learned how to use the new drugs in such a way that we hopefully can minimize the side effects.
Hi, I'm Pamela James. I'm 57 years of age. I'm married to my husband, Gary, who is a pastor. We've been married for 32 years. I'm the mother of 2 adult boys who are now both married.
Pamela is also a retired school teacher who still enjoys tutoring and interacting with students. She was officially diagnosed with multiple myeloma in April 2005. Although she had no previous knowledge of this disease.
How I felt when I was originally diagnosed was somewhat of a fog, partly because multiple myeloma was something I had never really heard of before.
So when a patient is diagnosed with myeloma, and given the fact it doesn't have a lot of recognition, it is important for patients to have a community, and both a national community and a local community. And with the national organization and the local support groups, Myeloma Canada fills that need.
Patients seeking more information may visit www.myelomacanada.ca.
Following my first 3 months of chemotherapy for multiple myeloma, I was then introduced to Princess Margaret Hospital and Dr. Donna Reese.
We have a large patient population that has looked to Princess Margaret for several decades now to have the best and the brightest and the newest and most promising clinical trials.
She was just so full of hope for us. She had said to us, particularly at that time, that for every year that we can keep you alive, the greater the hope that we have of helping you get to remission and hopefully someday finding a cure for multiple myeloma.
Princess Margaret Cancer Center is one of the top 5 multiple myeloma research centers worldwide. The strong myeloma clinical team, led by Dr. Donna Reese, works in close collaboration with a dedicated laboratory research team, led to ensure that more promising new cancer drugs will be tested and moved as quickly as possible from the laboratory to patients. Better screening and tests for early detection of multiple myeloma are also a priority.
Our goal right now is to develop sequential effective treatments that we use in the wisest order, somewhat like having different beads in a chain, and making those beads longer for each one, making more beads in the chain so that patients can achieve a long life with a good quality of life when they're participating in each bead.
Pamela's journey living with and treating her multiple myeloma has certainly reflected those beads in chain.
But in that original discussion, there was never the term cancer. There were discussions of the stages, pre-stages of multiple myeloma, like MGUS. and smoldering multiple myeloma. And so at that particular point, we were at a place of wait and see.
It's important that patients be diagnosed earlier, although, on the other hand, sometimes we can elect to watch patients before intervening with treatment.
Pamela's disease continued to be watched and progressed over the next few months, to the point where she was officially diagnosed with stage 1 multiple myeloma in April 2005.
My concerns, I think, at that particular time in which I was initially diagnosed was, yes, for my children because they were young. Our youngest son was just finishing up elementary school, and our oldest son was just approaching his first year of high school. And so, yes, the question was, would I see them graduate? Would I see them be able to move on in life in a healthy way?
The Myeloma Canada Research Network, or as we call it, MCRN, was founded under the support of Myeloma Canada and really provided a nidus to get all the physicians together.
The mission of the MCRN is to provide a collective Canadian database, evaluate the progress in treating Canadian myeloma patients, defining the gaps in care, provide hypotheses for basic laboratory research, provide rationale for design of new clinical trials and related funding.
And it meets that goal of getting these brand new drugs, once we know they are very effective, into Canada, not waiting to be a Me Too situation where we get them in a year or two. So I feel like a proud mother that we are able to do this for our patients.
Since 2005, Pamela's journey has been following along with the efforts of ongoing research. Ongoing clinical trial data for this little-known cancer have allowed her opportunity to participate in a clinical trial at each stage of her journey. In 2015, Pamela contracted a grave infection, which added another challenge.
I had been placed into palliative care, and that was quite a journey for us because in 2015 of June, our youngest son was to be married. Now, we were hugely supported by a tremendous team that each one of them made it their personal goal to see me get to my son's wedding. And that's what had happened.
After rejoicing at the opportunity to attend her son's wedding, Pamela's disease began to progress yet again.
We were once again extended that amazing hand of hope. And this time I was introduced to a very new clinical trial in the area of immunotherapy. It was the first time it was going to be used for the disease of multiple myeloma.
So this goal of having different treatments to use as long as possible with minimal side effects and a good quality of life has really become a reality.
And this was just an amazing gift to us at that particular time, and very, very grateful to be able to be a part of that clinical trial. So I began that in August of 2016, and I completed that trial this fall.
Since her original diagnosis in 2005, Pamela has participated in numerous clinical trials with the goal of slowing progression of her disease or entering remission. She has experienced the ups and downs of treatment and expectations. After completing her most recent clinical trial, she received some wonderful news.
But as of September 2017, I have been diagnosed in full remission of multiple myeloma.
The most rewarding part is having a clinic and having not one, not two, but many people that are 10-plus year survivors. They've been able to raise their children and perhaps see their grandchildren. And that was just not the case a decade ago.
Originally, the prognosis for multiple myeloma in 2005 was 3 to 5 years. Well, it's now 2017. I have walked this journey for 12 and a half years. We are building our retirement home on our lake property and anticipating that being completed this spring. And I also have a new joy in my life, the fact that I'm going to be a grandmother.
The ultimate goal in treating myeloma would be to cure it. That has remained elusive, although great progress has been made.
I think the greatest message that I would like to give others who are being newly diagnosed with multiple myeloma is never give up hope. There is great hope, not only in just you personally experiencing remission, but also with the advances that are happening in the area of research that, yeah, there is a cure and it's coming very, very soon.
To learn more about multiple myeloma and related ongoing clinical trial research, please visit these websites below and/or speak with your oncologist.